Hi guys! So in this video we are looking at your daddy issues. So first off we're gonna see who your dad was when you were growing up, and then we're gonna take a look at how that affected you. So yeah, that's very simple. It's a general reading, so it's not your specific energy I'm tuning into, which means that this could be like not 100% accurate. Take what resonates. And I'm gonna do a mommy issue reading as well, so if you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do that and you will get a notification when that video is up. So if you're new to pick a card, the thing you do is you take a look at the cards, and if one or maybe more than one card talks to you, let's say this King of Swords, pile number 3, talks to you, go ahead and go down in the description box below and pick timestamp number 3, and then the video will jump directly to this pile, so you don't have to watch the others first. Yeah, I think that's it. If you haven't chosen a pile yet, put the video on pause because I'm gonna jump to pile number 1 now. Pile number 1, you chose the King of Pentacles, and so let's take a look at like your daddy issues. First off, I'm gonna take a look at who your daddy is or how he was when you grew up, and then I'm gonna take a look at how it affected you. So the King of Pentacles is the Pentacles is the slowest moving energy. So this would be a person that thinks things through and makes sure that everything is in order before they take the first step. They're usually good with the things that are related to the earth here, the earthly matters like money or property, bringing food to the table. Very stable energy. He's got a hammer here as well, so hard worker I'm hearing. Yes, let's take a look at the shadows that I got for this pile. Worry, okay. Seductive. Bound. Authentic. I'm gonna take a look at the tarot here as well. Queen of Cups, 5 of Pentacles, and Page of Swords. Okay, so I'm definitely feeling like this bound and this Queen of Cups is supposed to be together. So I'm feeling like he was very bound to your mother, or his own mother actually in some way. So let me just explain just a second. So if it was his own mother, the way he was bound to her, or maybe still is, but during your childhood, is the man she kind of put him in. Like when she raised him, the expectations she had of him, and when he grew up, he had to be that kind of man that he felt she wanted him to be. That could be a way to be bound to his own mother. For others, he's bound to your mother, and I'm kind of feeling like that wasn't the right place for him, but maybe they were together because of you, or if you have siblings, because of the kids, right? So people stay together because of the kids. They might have split up as well, but I'm gonna go down this trail first, and then I'm gonna backtrack and see what else we got. So, but there's something here about 5 of Pentacles is about being left outside in the cold, and he's got a lot of worry. And we got the seductive card as well. So I'm feeling kind of he wasn't free in the relationship with your mother. And that doesn't really matter actually if they were still together or they got divorced when you were a child. Because after the divorce, he still felt himself bound. I think that she was kind of manipulative. Manipulative. And she created a lot of worry for him, actually. Because I see here he's a very authentic person. And the feeling, the vibe I'm getting off of him here is that he's kind of like really down to earth and a calm person. And with this card, seems kind of curious as well. Always looking for the truth, because the sword to me is representing the truth, and seeing the light here from above. Something, he's kind of always finding the bright side, right, to a situation. And I'm feeling here with this seductive card, because this is a nun, right? That he wanted to be seductive, he wanted to be open to women, but he wasn't, because he was bound to your mother. Even when they got a divorce, if they got a divorce, he was still bound somehow, because she got a grip on him. So in your childhood, he never really felt free, is what I'm seeing here, and he had a lot of worry. But he did what he could to stay authentic and true to himself, but there was a lot of pain, because he was bound, because he couldn't see a way out of it, of this situation with your mom. And he kind of like, with the nun going, like, being, what do you call that? When you don't have sex, when you don't have relationships. So I feel like he had a hard time getting, if they got divorced, he had a hard time getting a new relationship, because your mom was so invasive, kind of. That's what I'm feeling. So as a father, he might not have been there as much. He might have been because emotionally he couldn't be like fully present, because he wasn't fully present with himself, and because he had all the worries. And I think he kind of just dedicated his life to work, because that's the one place he didn't worry. That's the one place where things worked out. Because even with you, or if you have siblings, like with the kids, the attachment to your mom was there. So whatever he did with you, he'd still get like a tap on the hands from her. Like, she would always find something that he didn't do right, I'm feeling. So he kind of became like, if they split up, he kind of became like forever bachelor, right? In your childhood. I'm not reading the energy now, but when it was in your childhood. And he just kind of dedicated his life to himself and the work, and tried to, like, that feeling of, well, we got to make things work, so I'm going to go down this path then. That's kind of what I'm feeling. Very interesting, because I actually thought with these readings that I was going to see some asshole dads. So let's see how this affected you. Got a chakra card here. Just a second, guys. There we go. Determination. Okay. So maybe you kind of inherited that, because it feels like he was determined, like it couldn't make it work with your mom and in the home front and with the kids and stuff like that. So he was determined to just go with the job and becoming something good there. You know, he might have been an entrepreneur starting his own business, and very determined to make that work. Like salmons go against the stream, right? So he kind of gave you that fighter spirit, I'm feeling like. And also I'm feeling that if the case was that he wasn't there much, which I'm feeling like if he was home, he wasn't present, like emotionally present, right? It kind of made you determined to be the things that you didn't get from him. And at the same time, if he's good at the job thing, that you kind of inherited that, and thought like, I want to be like my dad in that way. I want to be determined in what I do in life. This is the solar plexus chakra, if anyone wants to know. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, abandoned. Yeah. So you did definitely feel emotionally abandoned. Maybe he left you because your mom and dad got divorced. Maybe he just left you in general when you were children, because he couldn't make it work with your mom. And therefore and everything he tried with you kids, your mom kind of got in the way. You may not know that, But that's what I'm picking up on here, that she really tried to make things difficult for him. Because I'm feeling a lot of anger from her to him, and he just want to cut himself loose and be free and get over with it. And the price of that was kind of time with his children, because she would, like, she wanted to make everything complicated, and he just couldn't. He couldn't be in that energy. It was too much for him. He knew that he would, like, become sick if he wasn't detaching himself. So that's kind of, this was not his dream at all. He really wanted to have a perfect family and everything like that, but it just, like, just really feeling with your mom, there's so much, like, resistance. He couldn't get through to her. She wouldn't listen, like, everything like that. Yes, we got the moon. Beautiful. Knight of Swords. The Devil. So this is how it's affecting you. So King of Cups, Three of Wands, and the Death. Okay. Just a second here, guys. Trying to find the message. So definitely feeling with the King of Cups, he's the most mature within emotions. Cups representing emotions. So that determination of being whatever your father wasn't, like, in the emotional department. And if you're attracted to men romantically, you are very determined to find a man that could give you that emotional availability that your dad didn't have. I'm feeling that very much. Yeah. And I feel that you are very, because we got the Death here and we got the Devil. So you're very determined to overcome whatever he gave you, that abandonment issue that you got from that growing up with him or without him. That you're really, really determined, and you're kind of always on the lookout for that man who's the opposite of that. So it's not kind of like the other things about him is fine. I don't feel like there's any other issues with him. It's just the abandonment, just right. That's enough. But so it's not like I don't feel hatred or anything like that against him. I just feel like this determination of that's not the kind of husband I want. I want this kind of husband, the one with there's emotion available, right? The one who's willing to fight for me is what I'm seeing here. Yeah, you're really on the lookout for that. So the Devil here is representing that abandonment wound that you're very determined to overcome, because we got the Death here. So working a lot on that. I think with the Moon, all of this actually made you very introspective. Kind of always always kind of, let's try that again. Kind of always wanting to see the deeper meaning of something, or like, why do I feel like this, or why do I say stuff like that, or even other people, why are they saying this to me, why are they acting like that? Let's dive deeper, let's find out, right? So it got you because you got abandoned like that. And what I'm feeling with your mother as well, she wasn't really a very nice person, right? Maybe she was to you, but to your father she wasn't, and that had to shine through in some other areas of your life. So you were kind of abandoned, and oh, I got something else here as well. Okay, so all of this we had here, it might have been a situation for some of you that your dad left because your mom and him broke, like got divorced or something like that, and he just couldn't cope. So he left, like, totally. He didn't become a weekend dad or anything like that. He totally left and abandoned you. Because he just couldn't, like, it was too much for him not being able to be a family. And that might be something about with his own mother putting that expectation on him. So he grew up with that, and so when his own family fell apart, he just couldn't, like, I can't do this kind of, he just couldn't be in it, again with the he just couldn't with the emotions. He's like the opposite of that guy who's very emotional mature, right? He just couldn't, so he left like a coward. And that may also be like a fact. So your mom doesn't necessarily have to be actually been mean to him if that's the case, that he just left. But for some of you, definitely she made it hard for him. And I would say that if he left like that from one day to the other because your mom and him divorced, then I don't see any of that she's being a nasty person or anything like that. But if he was trying to keep it going, like being a weekend dad or whatever, coming in or trying to really be something with you, maybe showing up to your soccer practices or whatever, and then disappearing out of your life like quietly, or like sliding out like sand through the hands, right? One day at a time. So instead of abruptly, it's kind of like through time. Then I feel that it was because your mom she didn't cooperate. She didn't want to make it easy on him because of her own sorrow, her own anger. Yeah, so all of this kind of made you a person that's very introspective and very determined to, what you want in your romantic partner. And you're a fighter and you want someone who fights for you, and you're really into like self-development, like overcoming things that's not good for you, right? All these devil things, that anything that isn't good for you, you want that to go. You want that to transform that into something good. Yeah, you might even be like kind of a mystic person, like into, the spiritual stuff. Like I can say that because you're watching a tarot video, but like also maybe aliens or astrology and healing and ancient Egypt, I'm hearing, and stuff like that. That's very exciting. So let's see, we got some advice cards over here. Let's see what they say. The advice for you: releasing allegiances, new birth, guarded vigilancy. I'm kind of not feeling like this is advice, actually. I'm kind of just feeling this is who you are. You're always checking in on your relationships and, like, okay, are we still good? Not in that anxious kind of way, but in that way, like, is this energy still good, or do I need to release this? Is this like friendship or family bond or relationship? Are we done? Like, did we play out our time? Very good at checking in. Like, okay, is this something that serves me anymore? Right? And I feel with this card, you're very guarded because you're so sensitive inside. And that might be the abandonment wound, like the inner child, right? I'm going to make a video about inner child as well. And kind of this position is also kind of a protecting, right? Like hugging yourself in a way and kind of touching as much of your own body that you can to kind of soothe and comfort, I'm feeling. But we got a butterfly here on your shoulder representing you're always in transformation. You're always determined to go further and further and be a better version of yourself, if you can say like that. I don't like that kind of way of saying it, because saying that you want to become a better version of yourself kind of is the same thing as saying I'm not good enough. No? Do you feel me? So that I don't like that. But kind of always hunting, I'm feeling for that. Where can I grow? Where can I grow now? So when you feel that you're done with a transformation like the butterfly is, okay, where can I look to now inside of me that needs to grow, that needs to heal, that needs to transform? So that's kind of you constantly, always taking care of yourself, looking out for yourself, by checking the energies of your relationships and where you are in life in general, like also with your jobs and stuff like that, okay, checking the energy of am I done living where I'm living? Do I really want to go travel, or whatever it is, like your dreams and stuff like that. You want to make things happen, really, and you're very, very good at it because you're determined. So that's kind of what keeps you going forward in life, is the determination. Also, if things doesn't work out, or if you had any struggle, okay, fine, I'm determined to go, like, then I'm gonna let that go and grow another place, or I'm determined to overcome it, whatever it takes, kind of, right? But very protective of yourself also. Very how do you say that? Kind of like very specific with your relations. Do you know? Like, you're not friends with like every other guy or girl. You're very oh, what's that word? Picky. And it's not a bad thing, it's a good thing. It's to protect yourself. So you're very picky because you want something that is, yeah, it kind of like, if you're determined to go somewhere in life, you kind of need to not be dragged down by anybody or anything. So a way of also protecting yourself again is checking, like, regularly, okay, where am I in this relationship? Is it something that's holding me back? Then do I need it anymore? Can we fix it? Can we do something about it? If not, is it just the time to split up? So you might have a lot, like, of friends and close friends, like, it's not circulating, but like you're changing. Can I say that? Changing friends, close friends, maybe. Um, as soon as it doesn't serve you anymore, you don't want to put energy into something that doesn't grow. So, and it's not a bad thing. I do the same. So I think it's a good thing. Yeah, of course I say that because I do it. No, but you're not an asshole about it. It's not that you want to pick a fight or anything. It's just when you sit down and tell a person, like, I don't feel like we're going anywhere. I don't think that this relationship is serving any of us anymore. How do you feel about it? And they're like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Most people don't want to let go, right? They're anxious and they can't really understand because you're so deep, because you're always searching for somewhere to grow and somewhere to heal, then that is where you put all your energy. Then it doesn't make sense to have a relationship that holds you back in some way, that doesn't serve you. So it doesn't have to, like, always give you growth and healing. It's just, at least it has to be neutral, so it doesn't cost you energy. That's what I'm saying. So you're not discarding people by like that. It's nothing like that. You're just very, yeah, guarded about, if I want to grow, if I want to develop, is this something that's gonna help me or something that's gonna hold me back? Yes. So pile 1, very interesting. I'm gonna make a mommy issue video as well, and something with the inner child also at some point. So if you're curious about that, go, how do you say that? Subscribe. Yeah, subscribe to the channel. If you like this video, if it resonated, please give it a thumbs up. And until next time, bye. Pile number 2, you chose the King of Cups. So first of all, I'm gonna check out, like, your dad, how he was when you were growing up, and then I'm gonna take a look at how it affected you. And the King of Cups is representing of the cups as emotions. So he could be, I'm actually feeling that he's a person who keeps his emotions to himself a lot. Very locked off. How do you say that? Tied off. Because I'm seeing this shell, so he's coming out of it, but I'm more feeling like he's in the shell and you can't pry him open, right? No matter how you want to try to talk to him about feelings, he's kind of like, kind of shut like an oyster. But he wants to, is kind of what I'm feeling, but he wasn't feeling safe to be, maybe it was that kind of, that toxic masculinity. Maybe he was taught that growing up, that, well, most likely he was, that men don't cry, right? You can show anger, but you can't be sad. But I'm not really feeling he showed any anger either. I'm feeling he's kind of like, meh, meh. that on the outside, right? On the inside, all the feelings are bottled up. There wasn't any room for him and his emotions, I'm feeling. So let's take a look at, oh, just a second. Yeah, shadow. Silenced. Yeah. Knight of Pentacles. The Empress. King of Wands. Five of Wands. Justice. Okay. See what we got here. So I'm actually kind of feeling, well, this probably won't resonate with all of you. This is general reading, but I actually felt like I'm feeling like your mom had an affair, or they got divorced and she found another husband. Yeah, that could also be the part. Because there's a lot of men here, and there's Five of Wands with the kind of fighting, right? Just a second, guys. This is so weird because in pile number one there was a lot with the mother as well, which with your mother as well. So I just got this feeling that no matter what he did, it wasn't good enough, and that your mom was just kind of, she's represented here as the Empress, like, and the Empress is the queen of all queens, but your dad is only a king. And we got here the knight and another king, so that's someone below her, right? So she's kind of high maintenance, I'm feeling here, and nothing is ever good enough, and whatever you do, and she kind of silenced him. And okay, so here I do feel the anger, and he was just really trying to please her. That didn't work. He was angry. That didn't work. There was a lot of internal struggle because he couldn't be what she wanted him to be. These could actually also represent what she wanted him to be. So he's like the King of Cups with emotions, but maybe she wanted him to be like King of Wands, which is a man that, I like it in this deck because he's behind the chair. He's not showing very much of himself. He's keeping his emotion on, bottled up, and he's a man of business, right? And he's a man of I'm gonna do this, and very like passionate and have a lot of drive and stuff like that. And then the Knight of Pentacles can be someone, like the Pentacles can be someone who's into making money, right? Or adventurous, I see on this one. And your dad wasn't like that. He was a very calm man who just liked simple things, right? He just wanted to be happy. He just wanted things to be simple, is what I'm hearing. And she's so over here, high maintenance, and nothing is ever good enough. And he tried so hard to be like this kind of man. So she didn't necessarily have an affair. For some of you, she did, but he tried so hard to be what she wanted him to be, and he couldn't, because that's not who he is. He's very simple. He's very, like, if there were room for his emotions, then he would be that kind of guy who goes around and like takes care of his garden and have a couple of pets, and maybe in the wood shop doing a little project, like enjoying life, right? Being actually very creative and evolving in life. But there wasn't any room for that because he had to be someone that he wasn't to live up to your mother's expectation. So what's this Justice card? Just a second. I think we need to yeah, look at this, right? He silenced. His word just didn't matter. No matter what he did, it didn't matter. What's this Justice doing here? Knight of Swords. We got a knight again. Wow, we got one from each suit. So we got the cups, right? That's your dad. And we got the pentacles, and we got the wands, and then we got the swords. That's all four suits. Again, I'm feeling like someone she wanted him to be. That I want you to be that knight in shining armor, going like for what you want. And oh, man. So what's up with the justice? Just a second. I think maybe the justice represent that he finally left. Okay, I don't want any more of this. Or he gave up. It's actually, yeah, um so if they were divorced, he kind of still fought for her after the divorce, but at some point gave up, realizing, what am I doing here? Why am I doing this? It's never going to be good enough. Or if they were still together, then at some point he realized this isn't, like, we got the scales here, right? This isn't balanced. I'm gonna throw all, I'm showing her all my cards, as you should in a relationship, trying to, like, be honest, trying to communicate, trying to meet her halfway, and she's not meeting me anywhere. I'm giving her all the gems. I'm giving her, like, the feather, maybe representing something gentle. Oh, I see. Wow. So he's the feather here, being gentle, and she wants all the gems. So this is him. He can't be over here because this isn't him. This is him. He's gentle. He's down to earth. He just wants things to be simple, right? Just want to enjoy life. And she wants fancy and gems and jewels and everything to be. Give me that. It's kind of her, the emotion. Yeah, and maybe she's from a time where the men did the work and the women went home. That's not, was staying home with the kids or something like that. Or maybe she's just like that. I don't want to say a gold digger. It's not really like that, but she likes fancy things, and he's just like, I'm gonna go into the wood shop and make a little squirrel. And she's like, I don't want a squirrel. Like, I want diamonds. So yeah, I think that eventually he gave up in some way, and I would say if they're still together, he might have just been that. You're right, and then there's peace. Like, he giving her, like, just keep still being silenced and just kind of disappeared from himself. Yeah. So I kind of hope for him that they split, because I think that would be the better life for him, actually. So let's see how this affected you. Got here. Abundance, root chakra. Wow, you guys. So that's kind of what your mom wanted. That physical abundance, right? What money can give you. That's not abundance. Abundance, actually, your dad got it right. Because abundance is whatever brings you joy in life. So if he kind of wanted to live in a little house out in the country, doing his garden and taking care of kind of some animals, stuff like that, then that's abundance, right? They just had two different views of abundance. So let's see what else comes up here. Shadow, soul searching, dramatic. Okay. Ten of Pentacles. So this is how your relationship with your dad affected you. I think we need more cards on this one as well, actually. Just a second. Because I'm very curious about this dramatic, because I understand if that was something with your mom, because she seemed kind of dramatic. But maybe you learned from your mom that the way to get something from your dad was to be dramatic. Because it has to be something with your dad. I'm kind of feeling like your dad wants to give you the whole world, really, and that you're more appreciative than your mother was. So when he gives you something, you're very appreciative of it, I'm feeling. And I think that maybe that the soul searching card here, the thing that you saw, the relationship between your mom and dad, made you wonder, because like there's got to be more to life, right? Than going for the coin, like your mom wanted and your dad tried to do to please her. And in some level, you must have felt that he wasn't. Maybe you knew, like, but if you didn't know, at some level, you must have felt that he wasn't happy. And I think actually you got some issues with abundance. Both the physical, like meaning money and stuff like that, and what money can buy, but also like abundance in life in general. The things that you wished for, you're not believing that you're worth it, kind of, actually. Okay, just a second. We need more. We need more. Is there more here? Oh, okay. There's gotta be more to life. Da, 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 da. So, what else there? What is it that what pieces of this puzzle is missing? How does this relationship with the dad affects the viewer? Pile number 2. Not that many. It's too many. I hate the shuffling process. It's just so long. That's too many, you guys. That's like half the pile. Come on. Come on. This is kind of annoying. Maybe you're not very, how do you say that? What's the word? Patient. Yeah. Maybe you're not very patient, because I'm feeling this. That's for sure. Well, I'm not so very patient, so it might just be my own. Justice. Did we get justice? That we had justice here. Here. So we got justice twice. Just a second here. Okay, so actually I think that because we got the moon here, that because of your dad, you do feel there's more to life than whatever your mom wanted with abundance, right? And it kind of made you soul surgeon. Because you saw that she wasn't happy and he wasn't happy. Like it didn't work. That's not what it takes, kind of, actually. I'm really feeling like a shudder going down. I'm just going blank right now, and that's not very common to me. So it must be your energy that just kind of that feeling. I don't know what to do about this. I'm kind of confused about what really happened with my mom and dad. What's kind of like what's going on, and the soul searching also. Like then who am I in this world? And I think it's kind of chaotic actually in your childhood, not just because of those emotions, right? There could be something else as well, but it's so confusing as a child when you feel what's going on and the world around you isn't aligning with that, right? So you feel your dad being this emotional, simple guy, but he's trying to make a lot of money and please your mom. And she's all about the abundance, and you're feeling like he's not. as a child you have felt that that's not what he wanted, but he did it anyway, and that's kind of confusing. And I think this here is seeing your dad like that made you very aware of this justice with balance and telling yourself, I don't want to be like that. I want good relationships. We got the Three of Cups here. I don't want the drama that he had with my mom. Like, I want to follow my heart. I want to follow my soul. I want to follow my like goals and joy for what is my abundance. I want to follow that. I want to be true to myself. That's kind of what he learned. You learned from him by, that kind of just they're saying that monkey see, monkey do, that you become your parents because you see what they do. Sometimes we do the total opposite because we see, okay, this is definitely not working, right? An example is if your one of your parents hit you as a child with the physical abuse, then there's two ways to go. One is doing the same when you grow up because that's all you know, and the other way to go is being like totally opposite, saying that I absolutely don't want to be like that, and I don't know what else I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna find out because I don't want to be like that. So there's kind of like this feeling here with the soul searching of seeing what didn't work with your parents, and especially with your dad, because you want to be like this. You don't want to be locked up in a clam. You want to be free like this guy, right? So you've watched him and learned that what not to do, actually. You don't want to be silenced. I'm not feeling that you necessarily want to be dramatic. Some of you might be, just to be the opposite of silenced. But I think like a lot of you don't want to be dramatic either. I feel like you have the kind of same soul as your dad, not the same soul, the kind of same vision in life, like the calm, simple life. I feel like I'm feeling that. And you want to do whatever your dad didn't do, right? And follow your soul and your bliss and find the things that you feel makes you abundant. And take care of your relationships and also take care of yourself so that you don't lose yourself like he did. And you might also be into the spiritual as well here with the moon going deeper and deeper, and again with the soul searching, right? Yeah, so let's see, we got some advice cards for you. Let's see what we got there. What is already with you and listening for truth. Yeah, it's funny because in pile number one, it wasn't advice either, and I don't feel like this is advice kind of either. It's maybe this one is, but I'm feeling listening for the truth is kind of what you're already doing with the soul searching and going deeper and figuring out what went wrong here. We got gears here in the background. I don't know if you can see it. So what gear isn't working? What needs to be changed is what I'm feeling. I feel though that there is a good advice for this card, like open up is what I'm hearing. Open up because you got all this good stuff inside, but you're keeping it in. And I think you're keeping it in because you're scared because you saw what happened to your dad. So he tried so hard, and by trying, it's kind of like he tried to open and your mom just kept shutting him down, right? And you saw that, so you are having a hard time opening and sharing all of this good stuff inside of you, actually. We got gears on this one as well, actually. Yeah. Listen to your intuition, listen to your truth. Yeah, I feel like you're already doing that. Butterflies or moths, but the transformation, and you already have the answer also is what I'm feeling. I'm hearing like you can go out to the world with more Oh, okay, that's it. You can go out to the world. I feel like you're kind of hiding in your room. Not necessarily a room, but that's what they're showing me. You can go out into the world. It's safe. It's totally safe because you did learn what your dad didn't, and you got this covered. You got this down is what I'm hearing. You know, you're very strong in yourself, and it's not going to happen to you what happened to your dad. And that's the good thing. You can say you learned his lesson, kind of, right? So that's pretty cool. Thanks, Dad. um, you are very balanced, so it's okay. Totally go out into the world, show them what you got. It's you're not gonna be knocked off your horses, and you're not gonna clam down and clam up, become like an oyster, right? It's safe. You're stronger than this. Like your dad wasn't strong. That's what's wrong. Um, he didn't believe in himself. That's why another person could be keeping him like how do you say that actually in English? Because in Danish we have this tøffelhelt, like someone who's under, who's whipped, kind of like, right? So he was whipped by your mom. She had the control. Yeah, I'm hearing we need some more parts. Let's see if it doesn't take like forever to shuffle. Oh my god. Okay. King of Swords. Oh, maybe you need to go watch King of Swords as well. That would be next pile actually. So just keep the video rolling. So I'm hearing with the King of Swords, if you weren't attracted to the next pile, because I have no idea what's going to be in the next pile, but that might be, instead of your father, it might be about a man in your life. Maybe a romantic partner, actually. Yeah, okay, that was it. Just a second. Okay, yeah. So keep this video going and watch the next pile and see if it matches anything that's not necessarily your dad. Or if it was your dad, that would be aspects of him that I didn't come across in this reading, or maybe he was changing in the course of your childhood to become another kind of version of himself, and that could be the King of Swords. But other than that, it might be a guy, another man in your life that could maybe a stepdad, or but I'm hearing also like someone in your present time, a kind of romantic relationship actually, or a friend or older brother also I'm hearing. But yeah, go watch that in a minute. And yeah, so that's what I have for you, pile number 2. I'm gonna make a mommy issue video as well, so subscribe to the channel if you want to and don't want to miss that. And if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up so we can get out to more people who needs to hear this. Until next time, take care. Bye. Pile number 3. You chose the King of Swords here. So I'm first going to take a look at how your dad was when you were growing up. And then I'm going to take a look at how that affected you. So it kind of looks like he's got a hole in his chest. Huh. The sword is all about the mental, clarity, truth, and stuff like that. But he's kind of got the hair in his face, so maybe he didn't see the truth. We got some butterflies as well with the transformation. A cape could be protection. So let's see what we get here to describe your daddy. We got here some shadows, independent, hiding, safe, shy, greedy. That's really a fun combination. Fun, not fun, funny, weird combination. 3 of Wands, the Wheel. I think that the first thing coming to mind is that he feels safe because he's hiding, and he feels safe because he's independent. And I think maybe he was all about the money. And the shyness here is it's kind of that feeling of going within. And a lot of inner world because he couldn't depend on the outer world is what I'm hearing. So he was kind of hiding a lot. Not necessarily something you can see, but like mentally. I think he was a lot in his head. Not sharing a lot with the world, just going his own way, kind of going under the radar and just focusing on the money. And then whatever was going on inside of him, that was his. So I think that made him feel safe. But there's something here with the Three of Wands. It's about waiting for something. I'm hearing, like, there's this song, I don't know who made it, Waiting for the World to Change. They're singing about that him and his friend wanted to change the world, but they didn't, like, he's singing something about that. The media is controlling all their information, and then it isn't easy to change anything because they got the control, right? So they're waiting for the world to change. And I'm thinking actually he kind of had that. He waited for the world to change for him to come out of his cocoon, or his little safe place, because the world wasn't safe. And I think that's got something to do about how he grew up. He grew up in an environment that wasn't safe. So I kind of feel like with this hole in his chest, there's a golden ball in here. I kind of feel like he found the world inside of him. That's how he survived. I think that he went through a very hard childhood where he might have been physically abused, like beaten and stuff like that. And he might not. He might not ever have said anything about it because he just went inside. So I'm not saying that's what happened specifically. This is a general reading, so don't go asking your dad, "Oh my God, did you get beaten up as a child? Because I saw that in a video." Don't. And if he did, he wouldn't tell you anyway because he's. Well, I'm not. I don't know. I can't see who he is now. I'm seeing who he was when you were a child. So I'm not saying he was greedy. I don't feel that. That's just, but I see the money here. So focusing on the money and just, yeah, maybe a little autistic even. That could be also waiting for the world to change. It's kind of stagnant, I feel like. Yeah. Well, let's see how that was a quick one. Let's see how that affected you. Let's not put greedy first. Let's put shy. I think the world saw him as shy. I don't think he necessarily was shy, but because, waiting for the world to change, you do seem shy when you're hiding. So let's take a look at how it affected you. Got chakras here. That's the Earth Star chakra, Mother Earth, grounding stuff. Your shadows. Destructive. Wow, okay. What? Destructive and content and lost. Wow, that's so all over the place. That's crazy, you guys. Okay, let's see what the other cards are saying. That doesn't really make much sense. I think content is like the opposite of being destructive and the opposite of being lost. So first thought here is that because this is a general reading, it could give different outcomes. So to some of you, this childhood growing up with a dad that was living his inner world that maybe made you destructive because that's the only way you could get attention. For others of you, you got lost because he wasn't there for you, kind of what you needed, because he was so busy with his inner world. And to other of you, you were content because he was a calm person that didn't need to explain a lot, and maybe on a spiritual level you were very in tune and you didn't really need to express things, and that made you content that you don't have to explain yourself. He understands. So that's kind of, let's see what other cards we get, but that's kind of what I'm seeing here because they're so different. Wow, Nine of Swords, worry. Knight of Pentacles, that's also very different, I think. Queen of Wands, Queen of Swords. Yes. So I do think that this represents very different ways of handling this kind of dad, because these two are so different. The Nine of Swords being something about worry, and the rabbit is being impaled, right? And I think that goes very well both with the destructive but also with the lost. So let's put this like kind of in here. So that's still like, you could be both lost and therefore destructive, or you could be like just lost or just destructive. Nine of Pentacles is like, that's the calm, that's the content, that's the growing up with a dad where you didn't have to explain everything and I can just be me, and that's so great, and he didn't put like limits on who I am. So you didn't have to try a lot of boundaries because you could be who you were, right? You were safe because he felt safe, kind of. And that made you this like, Knight of Pentacles is like someone who wants to learn and is very fond of working and doing things. And I think that if you're this person down this road, this path, then you became someone who could function in the world, and you just totally accepted that your dad couldn't. So something in you just from very early on realized that your dad wasn't like everybody else, and that was fine because he gave you the room and you gave him the room back. And that makes it, I feel like for this path here, if this is you, I feel like a very harmonious relationship with your dad because of that giving each other space thing. And you could still come and talk about like, wow, dad, I got this job today. And he would say, that's great, honey. Very supported also, but he's still in his own world, right? We got over here Queen of Wands and Queen of Swords. Sorry. So there's a lot of different paths here. Actually, I'm seeing, because this is kind of two different. So this is a path. This is a path, this is a path, this is a path, this is a path, or these are the same path, or maybe there's something interchangeable here as well, but that's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 possible paths of having a father like that. So that's pretty crazy, you guys. So down here, like a path is, you could become this feminine swords energy, which is kind of cold, but also a lot in the mental. He's in the mental as well. He's the king of swords. This is the queen of swords. It's just depicted like kind of I think she looks like the evil queen in Snow White, right? Like, girl, she's got some issues, but really I just think that you inherited, if this is you and not the other paths, you inherited your dad's way to feel safe in the world, and that is by cutting it off, and that makes you seem kind of cold, but you're not. And then we got this queen. I love this because they're so opposite. Like, this is the winter and this we got the summer, right? So either you could be this person that just shuts the world off and kind of seem cold, whereas your dad didn't seem cold, he seemed shy, right? Or you could become like the total opposite, very full of energy and vibration and color and flowering and glitter and gold, kind of really outgoing and really like, again, because it's the same kind of feeling of over here. You accepted your dad and he accepted you, and you but this path here, if this is you, there's an even deeper understanding of your dad than this path. And actually a kind of mother energy towards your dad, because you understood him so well and you understood him in ways that he didn't even understand himself. So you can give him love and nourishment and actually helping him out of his cocoon is what I'm feeling. Yeah. So I don't feel that any of these paths are lost or destructive. This one might be kind of self-destructive in a way that when you want a relationship or friendships or a romantic, whatever it is, you kind of shoot yourself in the foot. Like, let's take an example. Okay, so you found this guy and you really like him, you started dating him, and then you get suspicious that, okay, yeah, so you saw him talking to a girl on the club, right, in the club, and you were like confronting him because you got jealous, and there was nothing there. He's just talking to someone. Maybe it's an old friend. So something about making up things that isn't true, you know, because there's this unsafe feeling of the world outside that you inherited from your dad. Very, very interesting. And then there's these up here that because you couldn't get, like, you didn't have that telepathic way with your dad, so all you felt was kind of like a cold shoulder, right? And that made you maybe very destructive in the way that that's the only way to get attention. Because that made him frustrated because he couldn't understand, or maybe just lost. Maybe you gave up, kind of like yeah, that when you don't get your parents' love, you get kind of lost, or you don't feel like you get the love. It's because you have different love languages. So the people down here might have more of the same love languages. Love languages is like one could be praising words, right? So a lot about showing love through your words. Another could be physical attention, like hugs and kisses and a lot of touches like that. A third one could be what's that? How do you say it in English? Favors. So doing favors for each other, like I'm gonna do the dishes for you because I know that makes you happy. So that's three different kind of love languages. So your dad might have had a love language that was mental, right? That would be kind of like the words, saying words like appreciation and stuff like that. But he's not necessarily good at it. So he could be like, you came home from school with a good grade, and he would be like, that's good, honey. But what you really needed was like a hug, because that's your love language. That's the physical, right? So something like that. So different love languages can create this up here because he did love you. Definitely. I actually feel he's very proud of you. Also, if you're lost or if you're distracted, it doesn't matter. I feel with the destructive, if you were a destructive child or teenager, that he was very frustrated, and he turned that inward as well, because he didn't turn anything outward in he's only got his inner world, and he was very disappointed in himself that he couldn't reach you, that he didn't have. I'm getting very sad right now. Actually, this is a big sorrow inside of him, if this is you, that he couldn't reach you and he couldn't get to you, and he didn't know how, and he feel, oh my God, he felt like he felt so much as a father and as a person, and this is the biggest failure of his life. Who, if your father is passed away, he really wanted you to know this, because he couldn't tell you when he was alive, but how could, like, so it's actually easier to tell you when he's dead. So if your dad passed away, maybe go see a clairvoyant or someone who speaks to the dead, because then he can finally tell you how he felt, and he can give you some closure. Oh my God, you guys. Whew. Oh. No matter what, getting back to like the full picture here. Wow. No matter what, we got the Mother Earth soul, no, Earth star chakra here. And so no matter what path you went on, which however you turned out related to your dad, the soul agreement before you incarnated, because you agreed that you were going to be his child and he was going to be your dad before you incarnated, that was for you to grow in your Earth Star Chakra. So the Earth Star Chakra is how we relate to the world here, the physical world as being a human, and your dad couldn't, right? Your dad couldn't relate to the world, so he's got his inner world because of what he grew up with. And his survival mechanism was going within and finding the peace within him, and creating his own inner world. And that kind of created a problem, because that meant that he couldn't teach you how to be in the world. But this down here, you learned on your own. And I feel here that this is two different ways of also being in this world. But this up here, with the Nine of Swords in the middle representing both sides, you never learned. And so you need to learn on your own. You need to find your own way, your own path of how to be in this world, how to be human. This here path could have some difficulties with that as well. Yes. Let's see what the good advice is. Okay. Oh, we got one card on it. Okay. The word wants to be written. Just a second, guys. Okay, we need other cards, is what I'm hearing. I'm just gonna pause, be right back. So here we go. I just shuffle off camera because sometimes that takes forever and I am not a fan. So we got Starfish, Spirit, open to the infinite and possibility. I feel like this picture is kind of showing that, right? So third eyes opening up, the a lot with the butterfly, and also the big butterfly on the throat chakra, opening up what's your truth. What is that you want in the world? Dream the world into being. Bring your inner world out. Claim your independence. So your dad was independent too. We saw that, right? With this card here. So if you haven't learned from your dad, if you feel like you haven't learned and you're kind of lost in that, then the advice here is that you decide what you want in your life. What is it like? The reason why you're lost is what I'm hearing, if that's you, is because you don't know what you want. You never asked yourself, kind of. Because you kind of needed that guide as a child that your father wasn't. That kind of made you lost. But yeah, so there's something here about asking yourself, what is it that I really want? What is it that I really want? So society tells us that we need a husband or a wife, and we need to have a family, and we need to have a great education that gives us a great job that can give us a lot of money. But maybe you just want to travel the world, or maybe you want to live in a hut in the mountains, or maybe you want to be polygamous, like have more than one partner, whatever. What is it that you want, right? That's why you're lost, because you don't know what you want. So kind of figure out what you want. That's the inner world. That's what your dad left. And then find a way to bring it out in the outer world. Kind of like manifesting it, making it real. Like, do you want a car? Start saving. Ask the bank for a loan. Buy a cheap car, right? Then you got a car. Do you want a house? Again, the same thing. Do you want to travel? Figure out how that can happen. Like, you can go backpacking, and a lot of the places, hostels where you backpack, the people working there are backpackers. So they work there for the room and the food. They get room and food for working there, so they don't get any money. Their payment is well, maybe they get a little money, I'm not sure, but their payment would be food and place to sleep. So that's a way to travel, right? Figure out what is it that you really want, and then find out how your inner world can be brought out in the outer world. And I feel with the claim your independence that you need to detach from other people being responsible for you. So I think that growing up, that you felt like your dad wasn't being responsible around you. He didn't teach you what you felt like you needed to learn, and you didn't feel the love because you had different love languages. So you became very centered around what went wrong, kind of what you're missing, and that you're wrong, and how can I get attention, being destructive, for example, and stuff like that. And therefore being codependent, because the way to get some love and affection or attention from your dad was by doing something, right? Maybe being destructive, and that made you codependent, because codependence is when we want something for someone else and we get entangled in the energy that we have to do something to get that, because love should be unconditional. It should, so there's something about not being independent and kind of putting the responsibility onto others, instead of taking it for yourself. And I think that some of the other paths, like we got the Queen of Swords, I think these two paths, they claimed their independence quite early on. And I think that this contentment one and Knight of Pentacles, I think that, yeah, that's the same. They claimed their independence pretty early on, so that's not a problem for them. For those, so this is kind of for the lost and the destructive is what I'm hearing. Dream the world into being and claim their independence, and open to infinite possibility as well, but that could also be the others, and the word wants to be written. So there's something here that wants to be created within you. Maybe there's a book that needs to be written, maybe there's a movie that needs to be made, maybe there's a painting. Maybe you want to bake. That's also creating stuff. There's something about creating, and in that creation you are developing. Both with the butterfly, but also like the third eye, your intuition and your throat chakra, because a way to create things is a way to express yourself, right? We see that in paintings a lot, but you can see that in cakes as well if you decorate them. Or just creating something. Creating food is also a way to express yourself. The clothes you wear is a way to express yourself. Also, that could be a thing. So there's something here that wants you to express yourself in some kind of way that makes sense to you, right? Creating something or expressing, or using words, maybe speeches of your life, of what you've been through, or whatever. Being a teacher is what I'm hearing as well. Teaching something that can be created. So maybe you're art school teacher, right? Something like that, or builder, teaching other people to build a house, right? For education. That's creating something as well. Building your own house, going up to that mountain, building that own house, right? So there's something here that wants to be created, and they're saying just let it go, let loose. It's time, they're saying. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna make a mommy issue video as well. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do that, because then you will be notified when that video is up. And if this video resonated, please give it a thumbs up so we get out to more people who needs to hear this. Until next time, take care. Bye. Pile number 4. So you chose this King of Wands. Oh, this card. Okay. And I'm gonna go through who your dad was when you were growing up and how it affected you. I love this deck. It looks like damn. I just had the name. You know the guy. Can you see it? That famous guy. He was with Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. There we go. Looks like Brad Pitt. Anyway, let's see who your dad was when you were growing up. Got a shadow here. Thoughtful. Okay. So your Wands. 8 of Pentacles. So, let's go here. The Wand, King of Wands, represents usually someone who's very passionate, who's very forward moving in their energy, maybe someone with a temper, very inventive also is what I'm feeling, very going with the flow, like if this is what I want to do, then that's what I'm gonna do. But I find it interesting that it's paired up with thoughtful, so he didn't do things that he didn't think through. And I think that, because this card here, I would think would be more suited with the King of Swords, because the King of Swords is about being mental. And I think that this card here also, like usually 3 of Wands represent waiting for something to come in, but in this deck, I got this feeling like looking at the stars, right? That kind of going within feeling, these two match up very well. I think that he had a lot of dreams, and he worked a lot on how to get them into the world, because there's kind of an entrepreneur energy in the King of Wands as well, making things happen and getting new ideas all the time. that's not a lot to go on, I think. So I'm just seeing if I need more cards. I don't. Really? Okay, so that's kind of what that's not a lot. So let's see if we get something from the way it affected you that might explain more of who he is or who he was. Because this isn't a lot, I think, to go on. Yes, let's check it out. So we got 4 on the chakras. That's a lot. Personal power, communication, grounding, balance. Oh, well, I'm not seeing any daddy issues here, I gotta say, because I feel like what you inherited from your dad was this personal power that, because he was exploring his dreams and making them come true, I think that you had a great communication, is what it seems like. There's a great grounding and great balance. So this is kind of weird coming through in a reading about daddy issues, because there's not really much here. So let's see what else we got. Sad, okay. 2 of Swords, 7 of Swords, and the World. Did you lose him? Did he die? I'm kind of feeling with these 2 here that he was your world and then he died. And then this is kind of your feeling now, right? And also with this one, because this is about tearing up a contract, so that could be, and these 2 swords breaking, that could be you were the one sword and he was the other, and because he died, that broke you as well. And the contract was torn because he you know, the things you were going to do in your lifetime is going to be ripped apart when he dies, right? So that could be a thing. What's up with this 7 of Swords? This is really, I'm very surprised about this, actually. Because if you don't have any daddy issues, then why would you watch this video? And then why would this message even make sense? I don't think I'm not seeing really any daddy issues here. I think if he died, you felt betrayed. And that's a very normal feeling. When someone dies, we can get actually very angry with them for leaving us. We know in our head they didn't mean to, unless maybe it was suicide, but I can't see why that would be, because I don't see anything imbalanced up here. But of course we only got like 3 cards. But I just have to see if I can get another one, another path here, because if he died, it kind of feels like he stabbed you in the back. Again, that wasn't, it doesn't matter how he died, because you felt betrayed that he left you, and that's not a sensible way to feel. We know that, but that's just part of grief sometimes, that you get angry at the person that dies, even though it wasn't their fault. I think I'm seeing here that you had a very stable father, and he was full of life, and he wanted life, and he wanted to teach you about life, and he wanted to show you the world, and he was your world, and he was so proud of you. Like, this is the only path I'm seeing here, that he died. So, or maybe he got amnesia, something like that. So he went away like that, or he's very, very ill and he's not the same person anymore. Maybe some kind of way that you lost him. That it's not necessary that he died, but could be if you're very sick, or with the amnesia, or what was that called? Dementia, right? Something like that. So then you lose him because he's not the same. Maybe he got like brain hemorrhage, something. So he's still alive, but he's changed, and that makes you sad. Because what I see here, we got the balance and the grounding. So what you got from him, what he taught you, is this balance and grounding, and being very good at being in the world is what I'm seeing. Being a human, like the other pies we had, some of them struggle with being a human here in this world. It can be difficult sometimes. personal power and communication. I feel that he raised a very, very good child in you. Like he was such a good role model, and he was there for you, and he took you with him, is what I'm hearing. So if he was, maybe he took you with him to work, or maybe he was just like the way he showed you the world is what I'm hearing. He was such a role model, really. That this is kind of like I'm this is a great dad, I gotta say. Let's see, there's a card for advice. Maybe there's something in there that gives us a hint of another path. Got in the world, not off the world. Yeah, I don't see anything else but you losing him in some kind of way. And the lesson, no, not the lesson, the advice here is to keep being in the world and not off the world. What he taught you was how to be in the world, because he was so grounded and balanced and good at communicating and your personal power and staying in your personal power, following in your dreams, and very confident in who you are, who he was. And I think that when he died, or when you lost him in some kind of way, it shook your faith, because you were so intertwined with him here with the energies, right? And so when you lost him, you broke, because he was such a role model, because you loved him so much, because he loved you, because the connection that you have, right, was so beautiful. And so the advice is that you don't have to die because he did, regardless of him dying or not. If it was an illness and he's still alive, like dementia or something like that, you don't have to die because he did. So you need to, oh wow, that's beautiful. You need to go on in the spirit that he taught you, to praise his spirit. Do you know what I mean? Like if you're falling apart, that's not what he wants for you. Not at all. He knows you can do this. Of course you can. And it was planned all along that because you're so intertwined, at some point you had to be independent. He had to tore himself loose somehow so you can stand on your own 2 feet. But because you're so intertwined, all this was agreed upon before you incarnated, with the bond here that you have. So your souls agreed upon this, and the lessons went in it before you incarnated, and the choice of you being his child. So there there's a reason for it, and it's for you to be, because somehow you were kind of reliant on him still, even though maybe you were grown up. Maybe you lost him as a child, and that's rough, because how are you supposed to be independent as a child? That's not kind of the plan, right? But there was a plan here, and it went accordingly. So there's nothing went wrong. Is what I'm hearing. This is, and he's saying, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I knew it would be tough on you, and you knew as well before we incarnated. But this was the deal we made, and I'm so glad for the time that we had together. I'm so glad, happy for the bond. Like you're such a favorite person of mine. I love you so much, and I miss you so much. I just, wow, guys. He's so proud of you, and you're doing so well. And he's sad he can't be with you, but you know there was an ending to this contract, and we knew that. There was an expiring date. How do you say that? There was a date on it. And that's kind of the reason why we're so close, he says, is because we knew that our time together was counted, right? It was borrowed time. We knew that there wasn't much of it. So therefore we made the best of it. We made sure that I taught you everything you needed to know before I went. This is subconscious. He's saying you weren't aware of it necessarily. So yeah. But you're all right. He's saying, you're all right. It's going to be fine. It's okay to be sad, but don't forget what I taught you. Don't become another person. You can do this. And it's okay, to be in your sorrow. I feel like he's a person that's very good at saying, like, if you got that emotion, then that's cool. Stay with that. Don't go against yourself. Don't say, I'm not supposed to feel like that. He was very embracing about that. Very full in a way, right? In life, living life. Not believing in holding yourself back in any way. Not sorrow either. So express yourself and listen to how you're feeling and allow the emotions to be there. And he says, go for your dreams. Don't forget it. Go for it. You can do it. You don't need me for that. I taught you everything you know. I taught you everything you need to know. You're good. It's good. It's okay. You can do it. I'm following here from the other side and I'm cheering you on. You know that. You can feel me. I know you can. We will never be apart. So I'm not there physically, but you can still talk to me and I'm listening. I will always listen. Always. You are my first priority. So when you need me, I'm there. Don't ever doubt it. You might not see me, but I'm there as soon as you whistle, as soon as you call. I'm right there. Whatever I'm doing here in this other world, I'm dropping it because I'm there for you. We got that kind of bond. So I've never really left. And I wish I could make you feel that and understand that. I wish that I could give you what I gave you in life when I was physically here. But I can't. And I'm sorry for that. But that was the agreement. But I'm proud of you. And I love you to the skies and beyond. Truly. Whew. You guys. That's so beautiful. Okay, I think I'm done here. Wow. Yeah, if this pile resonated, please give the video a thumbs up so we get out to more people who needs to hear this. And I'm gonna do a mommy issue video as well. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do that. And then you will get a notification when the video comes out. If you don't want to miss that, I'm gonna do an inner child reading as well. And yeah, I got lots of plans. So I really hope you could use this. And until next time, take care. Bye.